Captain Prabhakaran, the legend who fought for Tamil freedom. Sri Lanka, a land of beauty, was also a land of injustice. For decades, the Tamil people suffered discrimination, oppression, and violence under a government that denied them their rights. But when peaceful protest failed, one man rose to fight, a man who would dedicate his entire life to the dream of Tamil Eelam. Velupillai Prabhakaran was more than a leader. He was a visionary, a strategist, and above all, a warrior who never surrendered. He did not seek power or wealth, he sought justice for his people. Today, we uncover the extraordinary journey of Captain Prabhakaran, the man who fought against all odds to defend his people and create a homeland for the Tamils. The early years, a fire born from oppression. Born on November 26, 1954, in Velupillai, Jaffna, Prabhakaran grew up witnessing the deep-rooted discrimination faced by Tamils. From a young age, he was deeply affected by the injustices around him. The Sinhala Only Act, 1956. The Sri Lankan government imposed Sinhala as the only official language, denying Tamils government jobs and opportunities. University discrimination, a biased education system made it nearly impossible for Tamil students to gain admission to universities. State-sponsored violence, peaceful Tamil protests were crushed by the government, and innocent civilians were often attacked. One of the most defining moments in Prabhakaran's life was the 1974 Tamil Conference incident, where Sri Lankan police opened fire on unarmed Tamil civilians, killing several. This event shook the Tamil youth. They realized that peaceful protests would not work. If they wanted justice, they had to fight for it. The birth of the LTTE, a new hope for the Tamil nation. By the 1970s, Tamil resistance groups began to emerge, but none were as organized or determined as the one led by Prabhakaran. In 1976, he founded the Liberation Tigers of Tamil Eelam, LTTE, an army built with a single mission: to establish an independent Tamil homeland, Tamil Eelam. Prabhakaran's first major act was the assassination of Jaffna Mayor Alfred Juriyappa in 1975, a Tamil politician who supported the government. The LTTE started with just a few dozen fighters, but under Prabhakaran's leadership, it soon became a powerful force. Unlike other groups, the LTTE was highly disciplined, well-trained, and committed to the cause. By the early 1980s, the LTTE had grown into a formidable liberation movement, carrying out strategic operations against the Sri Lankan military and making the Tamil struggle impossible to ignore. Black July 1983, the turning point of the Tamil struggle. On July 23, 1983, the LTTE ambushed and killed 13 Sri Lankan soldiers. The government's reaction was brutal. What followed was one of the darkest moments in Tamil history, Black July. Government-backed mobs rampaged through Tamil neighborhoods, burning homes, killing over 3,000 Tamils, and displacing thousands more. Entire families were massacred while the police stood by and watched. Women were sexually irrespective of age, and even pregnant ladies were assaulted without any humanity. Tamil businesses were looted, temples were destroyed, and train stations became sites of mass killings. Literally, Sri Lanka was a hell on earth for Tamil people on those days. For many Tamils, this was the moment of no return. Thousands of young men and women joined the LTTE, determined to fight for their people's survival. Prabhakaran had now become the face of Tamil resistance, the rise of a revolutionary army. Unlike other liberation movements, the LTTE was not just a guerrilla group, it was an organized revolutionary army. Under Prabhakaran's leadership, the LTTE became one of the most disciplined, innovative, and fearless liberation forces in the world. The Sea Tigers, the LTTE, became the first liberation movement in history to have its own naval force, capable of taking on the Sri Lankan Navy. The Air Tigers, the LTTE developed an air force, conducting air raids on military bases. The Intelligence Wing, the LTTE's intelligence network, was one of the best in the world. allowing them to conduct precision strikes. By the late 1990s, the LTTE controlled vast territories in northern and eastern Sri Lanka, running a de facto government with its own police, courts, schools, and hospitals. For the first time, Tamils had their own homeland, where they could live with dignity and without oppression. Victories against all odds. Despite being outnumbered and outgunned, the LTTE achieved extraordinary victories against the Sri Lankan military. Battle of Mullaitivu, 1996. The LTTE overran a heavily fortified Sri Lankan army base, killing over 1,000 soldiers. Elephant Pass Battle, 2000. One of the biggest victories in LTTE history, where Prabhakaran's forces defeated over 40,000 Sri Lankan soldiers in a stunning military operation. Strategic genius, Prabhakaran used unconventional tactics, from surprise attacks to sophisticated naval operations, humiliating the Sri Lankan military on multiple occasions. Under his leadership, the LTTE made Tamil Eelam a reality. If only for a short time, the world began to recognize that the Tamil struggle was not just a rebellion. It was a freedom movement led by a visionary leader. The final war, the last stand for Tamil Eelam. By the early 2000s, international politics changed. The world, after the 9th of November, began branding all armed movements as terrorist organizations, ignoring the reasons behind their struggles. Sri Lanka used this global shift to launch a full-scale war against the LTTE. 2006 to 2008, Sri Lankan forces, with foreign support, carried out relentless attacks on LTTE territory. 2009, the Sri Lankan government launched a brutal final assault. May 17, 2009, after months of intense fighting, the LTTE was surrounded at the Nanthakada Lagoon. Prabhakaran refused to surrender. Even in his final moments, he stood with his people, fighting till the very end. On May 19, 2009, the Sri Lankan army claimed he was killed. The legacy of Captain Prabhakaran. Even in death, Prabhakaran's spirit lives on. He was not just a fighter. He was a symbol of Tamil resilience, sacrifice, and courage. His dream of Tamil Eelam may not have been realized, but he awakened a fire in the hearts of millions. Today, Tamils across the world remember him as a warrior who never surrendered. His vision still inspires new generations to fight for their rights through political and democratic means. His story is not one of defeat but of unbreakable determination. Prabhakaran was more than a leader, he was a legend. Throughout history, leaders who challenge oppression are often demonized. And Captain Prabhakaran is no exception. The Sri Lankan government, with support from international powers, portrayed him as a terrorist, erasing the real reasons behind the Tamil struggle. The mainstream media, controlled by powerful states, ignored the genocide, war crimes, and systematic discrimination that led to the armed resistance. Instead, they painted Prabhakaran as a ruthless militant, conveniently ignoring the fact that he was a leader who built schools, hospitals, and a structured administration in Tamil Eelam, giving his people a taste of self-governance for the first time. However, among Tamil youth today, his legacy remains strong. Across Sri Lanka, Tamil Nadu, and the global Tamil diaspora, many see Prabhakaran as a symbol of resistance, courage, and self-sacrifice. His vision of Tamil Eelam continues to inspire new generations, even those born after 2009, who have only heard of him through family stories, songs, and hidden history. While some are influenced by state propaganda, others are reclaiming his image, seeing him not as a villain, but as a warrior who refused to bow down to oppression. As social media spreads uncensored narratives, young Tamils are rediscovering the truth about their history, ensuring that Prabhakaran's fight for justice is never forgotten. What do you think? Should Prabhakaran be remembered as a revolutionary hero? Let us know in the comments. If you believe in justice, like, share, and subscribe for more stories of heroes who changed history. Tamil Eelam will rise again. See you in the next video.